Parents, when you get triggered. So triggers, we have them all. We're human. They are incongruent responses to a stimulus. And these triggers usually have roots from many, many years ago. Maybe you are getting out of a long-term relationship and you get triggered by something that your soon-to-be ex-spouse has done over and over again for 20 years. It's gonna happen. Your nervous system is gonna do its thing. But the good news is that there are some things that you can use to bring your prefrontal cortex back online. Because guess what? When you get triggered, all of this just goes away. You're not going to do your best thinking. You are not going to say or do the things that are going to further your case along. You are probably going to do some things that derail it. And so it's super hard because the first thing that we feel like when we get triggered is usually either fighting or running away. And in the case of some nervous systems, we freeze, we become immobilized, and we don't quite know what to do. But really, the things that usually inflame conflict are either fighting or fleeing. And so what we really want to do is we want to move the nervous system from this agitated fight-flight state into the what we call rest and digest, the state where this prefrontal cortex is back online. And there are some things that have been scientifically proven to make this happen. And if you want the sites for the science, I got them for you. So this first thing that we're going to do is called the ha breath. We are going to intentionally extend the exhale. This is super simple to do and very subtle. So if you are in a situation where you can't get down to the floor and go into a downward dog and start your yoga practice, you can do this on the fly. So April and I are going to do this together. So we're going to take a nice regular inhale like this, and we're going to exhale with a ha. Let's try it again. One more. So, the thinking and the theory behind this, which I have a whole lot of citations for this for you as well. This is really courtesy of Dr. Herbert Benson out of Massachusetts General Hospital. He did 40 years of work around something called the relaxation response. And when we lengthen the exhale, so we make the exhale longer than the inhale, then that cues the parasympathetic nervous system to move into action, and this goes back online.
So this is literally like when you hear somebody say, take a breath, relax, yes. Like that's kind of where that comes from, right?
It really is where it comes from. I mean, breathing is the lowest hanging fruit that we got, because we're going to be breathing until the day that we die.
Right.
This is just a more intentional way of breathing. And when you can really extend that exhale, you're going to probably begin to feel some immediate results.
Sure. Yeah, it's absolutely. The recognizing that you need to take a breath. Absolutely. You need to step away from the situation. This is something, we tell clients when they call all the time. What I hear is, April, I did what you told me to do, and I tried so hard, but I just lost it, and I said something I shouldn't have, and, my child was standing there. Like you said, everybody's human. We all make mistakes, but it is important to try to just take that breath and relax, although nobody likes to hear the word relax.
No, we're not. We're never really going to ask you to relax. We're just going to ask you to do the work.
Right. Just take the breath.
And doing the work. Yeah. And recognizing that you're triggered. In fact, I'll give you a link to something called the Managing Your Triggers Toolkit. And that's one of the first steps, to just say, oh, I'm triggered.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we can't do any more thinking beyond that.
And sometimes, especially in a divorce situation, right? Like tensions are high already, emotions are running very high. And so you may be involved with a person who's specifically trying to trigger you. They know what your triggers are. You've heard that expression, he just pushes all the right buttons, right?
Right.
So you may be around somebody who's trying to push those buttons because maybe you don't have the ability to move out of the house yet and get your own place. Those things are still being worked out. So recognizing when you're being triggered, recognizing when those buttons are being pushed, and knowing how to take that breath, regulate your system, and calm down.
I love something that you said about one of the clients saying, "Oh, I just kind of lost it in front of the kid," which it happens, right?
It does.
But I would think that one of the best things that you could do for that child in that moment is just say, "Honey, I am so sorry that you had to experience that." And then could we then help that child regulate their nervous system by doing that breath with them?
Sure. You know, one of the things that I say to parents a lot is fall on the sword, right?
Right.
That we all
Yes.
make mistakes, and that when you make those mistakes in front of your children, especially during a high conflict time like divorce, when everything's changing, you're trying to figure, everything out, new schedules, new situation altogether. Sometimes you just have to fall on the sword with your kids. Sometimes you have to just say, "This is what I did. I messed up. I shouldn't have said that in front of you," or "Mommy shouldn't have handled that situation like that." I mean, that's good practice for any parent.
It
even
really
if
is.
You're not going
It's
through
good
the
practice for
divorce,
every
right?
human being,
Right.
really.
Yeah. So I think it's very important for a lot of reasons to do that with your child. First of all, it lets them know genuinely that you're apologizing. You recognize that you did something you shouldn't have done in a very stressful time in front of them. And it teaches your children how to do that when they're in a situation when they might have to fall on the sword,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
When they've done something at school, that teaches our children not to give excuses, but to accept responsibility for what they've done and learn how to apologize. And that's just a really great life skill to have in general.
And it's not easy, right?
Right.
Because apologizing, oh my gosh, we feel
feels the
super-
worst.
You feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
And as a parent, I would think that, you're always trying to do the best that you
Right.
can, but then admitting to your kid, wow, I messed up right there.
Sure.
And I am really sorry. And then let's move our nervous systems into a more
Right.
favorable. You're not going to, of course, say that to the kid,
Right,
but
yeah.
let's do some breathing together.
Sure.
And let's calm together.
Let's everybody take a breath, quite literally.
Yeah.